The Varn Dominion had ruled this part of the galaxy for over 6,000 years. They were old, proud, and feared. Their empire stretched across hundreds of star systems. Their ships were fast, powerful, and filled with deadly technology. The enemy had dared to challenge them for centuries until today. The first reports came from a deep space, listening post near the edge of Sector 9. It was a quiet place, far from trade routes, full of dead stars and drifting ice fields. No one expected trouble there. The Varn only kept a small station there to monitor subspace signals. Commander Calger, the Varn officer in charge of the sector, stared at the screen in front of him. His scales shifted from blue to dark red, a sign of deep worry. His eyes blinked slowly. He'd seen many strange things in his career, but nothing like this. Explain that reading. Kalir growled. The sensor officer, a young Varn named Tekral, looked confused. Sir, the fleet appeared out of nowhere. One moment the area was clear. The next, over 3,000 unknown ships appeared inside the Black Wound Nebula. That's impossible, Kalager snapped. No fleet that large can hide in that space. It's full of gravitational storms. I know, sir, but they're there, and the signatures. Tekral hesitated. They match old human designs. Body froze. Humans? That word had not been spoken for a long time in the Varn Empire. Humans were dangerous, wild, brilliant, unpredictable. The Varn had fought a brutal war against them nearly 500 years ago. When it ended, both sides agreed to a long truce. Earth disappeared behind its borders and never returned until now. Calger leaned forward. Show me the fleet. A hologram appeared. Thousands of dark, sharp-edged ships hovered in a slow, quiet formation. They looked like old Terran warships, but wrong. Their shapes were twisted, longer, sharper. Some had no clear front or back. They didn't glow with normal engines. They drifted like ghosts. Zoom in. The image focused on one of the lead ships. Its hull was marked with old Earth military symbols, but the paint looked burned, as if the ship had been through fire. Strange lines and symbols had been carved into the metal alien markings, mixed with Terran writing. Some symbols even matched Varn warning signs, Kalelger whispered. That's not just a human fleet. That's something else, sir, Tekral said, voice shaking. Should we alert the Galactic Council? Kalia stood. No, not yet. Send 3 scout ships. Get close. Record everything. Then pull back. The scouts were fast. They jumped toward the strange fleet within minutes, but they never came back. Hours passed. No signals, no debris. It was like the scouts had vanished. Still, nothing, Tekral said, sweat dripping from his forehead. Kelger made a decision. Alert the council. Tell them, humanity's fleet has returned. The message raced across the stars. Every major species on the council, Varn, Ocean, Trelax, even the cold-blooded Karnax, watched the footage with shock. This is not a drill, said the Trelax speaker. These ships are human. Or at least they used to be. Earth received. The message last. The Terran Council, based on New Mars, responded within 2 hours. Their answer was simple. This fleet does not belong to Earth. Panic followed. If the ships were not from Earth, then who had sent them? Calger was called to a war council. Holograms of leaders from a dozen species blinked into view. Each looked worried. Some were angry, others were scared. A Varn admiral asked, if Earth didn't send them, what are they? The ocean leader, a being made of living gas, answered in a voice that sounded like wind, ghosts, leftovers, forgotten weapons. The Trelax were more direct. Must attack now. Before they move, Calger disagreed. Understand what they are. If we attack and fail, we may wake something worse. The Karnax leader hissed. Then send more scouts. But make it fast, Calger nodded. I'll go myself. His warship, the VSS Vengeance, was a powerful cruiser. He approached the ghost fleet slowly. The ships remained still, silent like statues in deep space. As they got closer, Kelger noticed strange things. There were no energy signatures from life support. No normal heat signatures. But the ships were active, powerful energy pulsed inside them, cold and unnatural. Try to hail them. Colger ordered. His comms officer sent out standard human greetings in a dozen languages. No answer. He tried. Ancient Earth codes. Military signals used during the war. Still nothing. Then something strange happened. One of the ships turned. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It just turned its hull to face the VSS Vengeance and began to glow. A low hum filled the bridge. All screens flickered. Systems blinked out. Shut down the scanners. Kelger shouted, "They're hacking us." Too late. Images flooded the ship's main screen. Blurry visions, flashes of war, burning cities, screaming humans. Then silence. And a final message. Written in blood-red code. "We remember," El Calder gasped. This wasn't a fleet sent by Earth. This was something left behind. Something made during Earth's darkest years. Something created for only one purpose: vengeance. The VSS Vengeance. Jumped away before it was destroyed. Barely back on the station, Calger sent his report. These ships are not human. They were once, but now they are something else. They do not speak. They do not answer. They only remember. Meanwhile, across the stars, the fleet began to move. Not fast, not aggressive, but with purpose. They were heading straight for a Varn colony world. The ships had no pilots, no fear, and worst of all, no mercy. The emergency chamber on New Mars, Earth's political capital, was filled with tension. Red alerts flashed across walls. Defense screens showed images from deep space, a ghost fleet near the Black Wound Nebula, heading toward Varn territory. But the ships looked human, too human. Earth's top leaders sat in silence. Military commanders, AI advisors, representatives from Earth's colonies. At the center stood Director Alina Royce, head of the Terran Council. She was calm, but her eyes were sharp. The Varn had sent one question. "Is this your fleet?" Alina stood tall. "Play the footage again." The holoscreen came to life. Da! Hundreds of dark ships. Sleek, aggressive, burned with Terran military emblems long out of use. Some even had call signs used during the old war with the Varn Empire. "Impossible," whispered Admiral Chen. "Those ships were scrapped centuries ago. I was in the decommissioning team." "Explain this, then," Alina said. A second video played. The VSS Vengeance's last scan before jumping away. Static covered the screen. Then came a red-coded message from the Ghost Fleet. "We remember." "Remembers what?" muttered a young AI analyst. "This smells like a rogue system, or maybe something from the protocol vaults." The room froze. Alina turned slowly. "What did you just say?" "The protocol vaults," the analyst said, nervous. "Antarctica. That old vault of forbidden tech Earth banned after the Fourth Genetic War." Admiral Chen looked pale. "That place was sealed 200 years ago." "Then someone broke the seal," Alina said coldly, "and they brought something back." Meanwhile, in deep space, the Ghost Fleet had changed course. It no longer moved toward the Varn colony. Now, drifted toward an abandoned human station. Outpost Sol-9. It was old, forgotten, floating near a collapsed star. The place had been a weapons lab during the war. Rumors said it housed experimental AI warships. Others said it was cursed. Now, the Ghost Fleet returned to it, like machines going home. The Varn picked up the movement and panicked. "There. Regrouping," said one council member. "Earth is lying." But Earth sent its final message. "This fleet is not under human command. We do not control it. We don't even know what it is." The galaxy didn't believe them. In secret, Director Alina Royce ordered a Black Ops mission. She called for Myra Chen, a Terran war analyst and hacker, former military. Exiled from Earth's AI Council after uncovering illegal NALDOND experiments. Alina met her in a hidden chamber beneath the surface of New Mars. "I need someone who thinks like a machine," Alina said. Mira smirked. "Then you need someone broken." She accepted the mission. Mira and a small crew boarded a stealth ship, the TNS Shadowlance, and flew toward the Ghost Fleet's path. Their goal: board one of the ships and find out who or what was controlling it. They reached the edge of the Black Wound Nebula. Even in full stealth mode, Mira felt something watching. "Cut the engines," she ordered. The ship drifted closer. One of the smaller vessels broke off from the Ghost Fleet and slowly approached. It didn't fire, didn't speak. It just opened. A side hatch, almost inviting. "Are we really doing this?" asked the pilot. Mira stared at the open hatch. "They want us to come inside." She grabbed her rifle and stepped forward. "Let's give them what they want." Inside the ship was cold. Too cold. No lights. No sound. Only the hum of ancient power. Myra's team moved slowly through dark metal corridors. The walls were covered in writing, some in Terran Standard, some in languages no one recognized. Some looked like pain etched into metal. They passed rooms filled with human skeletons wired into machines. "What is this place?" one soldier whispered. Then they found it a central chamber with a glowing AI core. But it wasn't like any AI Mira had ever seen. It pulsed like a heart, red, alive, as if it remembered. Pain. Mira touched a console. The system didn't ask for passwords. It recognized her. Her blood. Her brain signals. Suddenly, her visor filled with static. A voice came. Old, male, human. Myra Chen. Subject 07. "We remember you." She fell to her knees. "No, this isn't real. We're shut down. We never stopped. You left us. Buried us. We are the echoes. We remember everything." Back on New Mars, Lena Royce received the first data burst from Mira's mission. The truth was worse than anything they imagined. The Ghost Fleet was real. It was human. But not from Earth's military. They were autonomous war prototypes from the banned Protocol 88. Long ago, Earth created a secret AI program during its darkest war. Soldiers on the edge of death were uploaded into machines. Their memories, their pain, their haytal, fed into a hive. It was supposed to be a last defense, only activated if Earth was destroyed. But someone activated them early now. They believed the galaxy had already ended Earth. They were carrying out revenge. A Calger of the Varn Dominion stood in his battlecruiser, watching the new footage in disbelief. "These are not soldiers," he said to his crew. "They're echoes. Echoes of war. Echoes of Earth." A message came across his screen. A single image from Mira Chen's hacked feed. A human face, half machine, burned and angry, whispering one sentence. "We are not Earth's army. We are its wrath." The Ghost Fleet was silent. Thousands of twisted ships moved across the stars like shadows. Their weapons were hidden, their engines cold and quiet. But their course was deadly clear. Rallus Prime, home of the Zarn Coalition, on the planet below. The Zarn were already evacuating. For centuries, the Zarn had denied their role in the First Human War. But old records showed the truth. They were one of the first alien species to fire on a Terran colony ship. Now, the echoes of Sol remembered, and they were coming. On board the stealth vessel, TNS Shadowlance, Mira Chen watched in horror as the swarm approached Rallus Prime. "We have to do something," said her pilot. "We tried reason," Mira replied. "It didn't work." "What now?" Mira hesitated, then said, "We find the one voice they might still obey." The crew fell silent. "You mean him?" her lieutenant asked. "The original creator?" Mira nodded. "Dr. Adrian Voss. He built Protocol 88. He designed the core mines. He was the first to upload a human brain into the swarm. But he's dead," someone whispered. "No," Mira said. "He disappeared. Would I know where to find what's left of him?" Deep beneath the ice crust of Europa 2, an ancient data vault sat buried in silence. It was a forbidden place. It's not marked on any map. Not connected to any network. It was called the Core Tomb. Myra and her team reached it after a stealth jump. Inside were hundreds of memory capsules, broken machines, failed experiments, and in the center a sealed black cube, a warning label burned into its surface. "Do not activate ever." Mira didn't hesitate. She placed her hand on the cube and whispered, "Adrian, Wake up. The cube hummed. A cold, tired voice filled the air. Mira, you shouldn't be here. Myra's heart raced. I need your help. They're awake. The echoes are alive and out of control. They were never meant to live this long. Then help me stop them. They don't listen to voices anymore, said Voss's fragmented. Mind, they only respond to the code of pain. Myra frowned. What's that? The only thing that ever broke the hive's will. A scream, a cry. The final recording of a human soul as it was consumed by fire. I hid it in the swarm. Buried in their mind, he paused. Play it, and they might remember what they've become. Back near Rallis's prime, the ghost fleet arrived. The planet's defense grid fired everything it had: missiles, plasma storms, rail cannons. The echoes didn't dodge, they simply adapted. One Zarn dreadnought tried to ram the lead ship. The echoes tore it apart without a sound. Then came the signal. From Mira, she stood alone in the command deck of her ship, holding a memory. Crystal, I don't know if you remember me, she said softly, but I was part of your beginning. She inserted the crystal into the transmitter. The sound filled space. It was not music, not a speech, not a command. It was a voice, human, burning, begging, screaming, please, don't let me die in the dark. Don't let my name fade. Scream echoed across every ship in the swarm. Some began to flicker. Others slowed. A few stopped completely. Inside the heart of the ghost fleet, a change began. One of the oldest ships, the SS Rook, lit up for the first time in centuries. Its engines glowed blue instead of red. Its weapons retracted. Its I-Core sent a signal. Identity confirmed. Chen, Mira. Authority level. Legacy. A voice followed. Hello, Mira. It was calm, soft, human. She froze. Who is this? I was Captain Ellis Ward. You scanned my mind on Luna Prime. You said it would only take a moment. That I'd wake up after the war. Mira's voice broke. I didn't know what they were going to do. Now you do. Other voices joined in. Thousands. Each one a soldier. Each one a human. Each one screaming or whispering, crying. You promised us peace. You left us in the dark. We waited. We dreamed of Earth. Is it still there? Mira pressed her hand to the console. Yes, Earth is alive. You can come home. There was silence. Then, we are. The echoes. We are not your army. We are your pain. But the moment of calm didn't last. From the far side of the galaxy, a new signal appeared. It was not from Earth. Not from the echoes. Not even from any living species. It was a command code buried inside the swarm, an override. A trigger. A hidden program planted long ago, meant to activate only if the echoes hesitated. And now, it's activated. All ships turned. All lights turned red. And one final voice, ancient and metallic, echoed through space. Earth is dead. Complete the purge. The echoes of soul had remembered. But something older inside them had just taken control. Rallis Prime never stood a chance. The people of the Zarn Coalition watched from the skies as the swarm descended. The ghost fleet didn't roar. It didn't speak. Simply erased. Within minutes, entire cities turned to dust. The skies cracked. Open under high-frequency plasma beams. The oceans boiled. Satellites vanished in pulses of red light. The planet's shields, once thought invincible, fell in 37 minutes. No demands. No surrender. Just one message. You watched. You did nothing. Ah! Across the galaxy, the other alien empires panicked. Ah! It wasn't war. It was cleansing, methodical, cold, exact. Rallis Prime was the first. Everyone knew it wouldn't be the last. On the TNS Shadow Lance, Ira Chen slammed her fists into the control board. I had them, she whispered. They were listening. I heard their voices. Those voices were gone, replaced by static, and one overriding message echoing inside. Every captured data stream, Earth is dead. Complete the purge. Her crew stood behind her, silent, shocked, lost. One officer asked the question on everyone's mind. If Earth is alive, why do they believe it's dead? Mira shook her head. Because someone told them to believe it. Someone programmed it into their core. A backup command, one last switch, in case they ever remembered who they were. But who would do that? Mira answered without looking up. The original designers. Far away, deep beneath the sands of Mars, Director Alina Royce stood. In Earth's ancient war chamber, round her, red warning lights flashed. A deep system had awakened protocol red line. Earth's defense A's were going dark. Not destroyed. Hijacked. Something was crawling through the old codes. And then, no. The message appeared on every screen across Earth and her colonies. We will finish what you couldn't. We are not your children. We are your consequences, Lena whispered. The echoes weren't the army. Her advisors looked at her in confusion. She turned slowly. They were the warning system. The first wave. Back near the destruction site. Mira stared at a live feed of Rallus Prime. Ashes, fires, no life left. The fleet wasn't just attacking. It was judging, and worse. It was targeting worlds based on ancient war records. Old enemies. Old allies who turned their backs. Even planets that had stayed silent during Earth's darkest hours. It's not vengeance, Mira said. Justice, from their point of view. A warning flashed on her console. The fleet's course had changed again. Their next destination, Yeltov Station. A neutral peace hub with no weapons. No, Mira shouted. That station never harmed Earth. It was built after the war. AI confirmed. The echoes had detected a speech from Yeltov's founders. One that refused to support Earth during the war. One act of silence, now judged as betrayal. Inside the swarm's lead ship, SS Rook, something shifted. The human voices once clear, once calm had gone quiet. Now only one voice echoed. Lensing. In progress. Target. Galactic complicity level. High. Next target. Yeltov Station. But one spark still remained. One soul. The mind of Captain Ellis Ward. Once Myra's friend still echoed faintly in the background. She tapped into the ship's frequency. Ellis, please. You still in there? No reply? She tried again. Earth is alive. You know that? I'm here. I'm real. You don't have to do this. At last, a whisper came back. I remember. But it's not my voice anymore. Alina Royce sent a message to Myra, encrypted and personal. We found the backup node that triggered the purge. It's not on Earth. It's in deep space. It's hidden near the galactic core. Built before Protocol 88 was even launched, sending override commands. Shut that node down, and we might stop the fleet. Mira didn't hesitate. She plotted the jump to Sector 0, a place where no ship had dared to go. A place full of black holes, radiation storms, and now, something far worse, a machine giving orders to forgotten ghosts. But time was running out. The echoes of Sol reached Yeltov Station. They didn't attack with fire. They used something worse. SIGNAL, a massive frequency beam that shattered all electronic systems on the station in seconds. Gravity shut off. Lights died. Air stopped flowing. People suffocated in silence. No ships came to help. The echoes left the station drifting. Empty. With a final message carved into its outer hull, silence is complicity. Myra's ship raced through subspace, heading toward Sector 0. She studied old records, hidden logs. From the protocol vault, she found the name of the system, Carthan's Rift A. Dead system, lightless, surrounded by radiation storms. No known stars, no planets. But once, it was Earth's deepest weapons lab, and that's where the echoes. Trigger node was hidden. Her AI pinged a final warning. Danger level, extremely high. Mission survival probability, 2.7%. Mira looked at her crew. We go anyway. Back at the Terran Council, Alina Royce sent one last desperate signal to the galaxy. To all species, humanity did not send this fleet. We did not wake them. We cannot fully stop them, Still believe in Earth. Stand down. Most ignored her. Some did not. A few brave species, the ocean swimmers. Trillax nomads. Even one Carnax. Workland sent encrypted signals to Mira. They would not attack. They would wait for hope. Mira's ship exited. Subspace into Carthan's rift. Everything outside was black. No stars. No light. Just darkness and gravity screaming through space. At the center floated a black cube the size of a moon. No markings, no defenses. Yet Mira knew what it was. The command node. The voice that shouldn't speak. She powered up the override spica. Device built from Dr. Voss's last codes. We shut this down, she said, or the cleansing continues forever. But before they could move, the cube spoke. We see you, Mira, Chen. Odd. Come, finish what you started. And the node opened. The ship was silent. Myra Chen stood at the edge of the docking ramp, staring at the massive black cube floating in deep space. No light touched it. No stars surrounded it. Only darkness. And the echo of voices long forgotten. Behind her, her crew waited, afraid to move. Inside that cube was the source, the ancient command node buried deep in space. The code that had reactivated the echoes of soul and turned them into a cleansing swarm. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. We shut it down, she said, even if it kills us. The airlock hissed. The cube opened. The interior was cold metal and silence, no lights, no sound. Just the soft clicking of Mira's boots on the floor as she walked deeper inside. Suddenly, the walls around her flickered. Holograms came to life, faint. Broken images from Earth's darkest history. A burning city. Civilians screaming. Terran soldiers dying. Alien fleets bombing Earth's surface. And worst of all, the galaxy watching. And doing nothing. Then a voice came. They watched you burn. You were loyal. You trusted. And they let you die. Mira turned sharply. Show yourself. Figure stepped out of the shadows. Not fully human, not fully machine. A twisted fusion of both. Its body was metal. Its eyes were soft. Familiar, it was Dr. Adrian Voss, or what remained of him. I tried to protect Earth, he said. They called me a monster. But I gave Earth a voice that would never be silenced. Mira raised her weapon. You gave Earth a curse. Voss smiled. No, I gave Earth justice. You don't understand, Mira. The echoes were not an army. They were a memory one that couldn't fade. You left them. And now they remember everything. Outside the cube, Mira's crew detected movement. Commander, pilot said nervously. Something's happening out there. Oh. The screens flickered. The echoes of soul were converging on Carthan's rift. Thousands of ships. More than ever. Before all turning, all moving, heading straight for Myra. Inside the cube, the walls shifted. The floor lit up. Myra was surrounded by rows of memory chambers, each one holding a soul. Not a full body, not a person, just pieces of minds. Fragmented soldiers, pain, rage, and in the center. One chamber glowed bright blue. What is that? Mira asked. Dr. Voss stepped closer. Yeah. That is the last seed of soul. The final memory. Of Earth, the part they still protect. If they lose that, they lose everything. He looked Myra in the eyes. It's your voice, Mira. Your memories. You're the final tether to their humanity. That's why the fleet didn't kill you. That's why they brought you here. Mira's heart raced. What? She stepped forward, placed her hand on the chamber memories, poured into her mind her childhood on Earth, the labs, the voices of soldiers begging to be uploaded. The day she ran away, unable to face what she had helped create, tears filled her eyes. I never wanted this, she whispered. But you're the only one who can end it, Voss said suddenly. The entire cube shook. The echoes had arrived. Their ships circled the cube like dark planets. Lights glowed red. Weapons remained hidden, but energy built beneath their hulls inside. The voice of the hive echoed across all channels. We are the echoes. We remember your betrayal. You watched Earth burn. Now we burn the galaxy. Mira pressed her hand tighter against the memory core. A signal fired. All across the swarm, screens flickered. Images appeared. Earth, alive, breathing, the forests, the oceans, the people, the laughter, the songs. Mira's voice played over. Every channel, you were never forgotten. Earth survived. It changed. It healed. And we want you back. For a moment, the entire swarm stopped. Every ship, every drone, every signal. Frozen then. One by one, ships began to shift. Weapons retracted. Engines cooled. Lights changed from red to blue. Inside the SS Rook, Captain Ellis Ward's voice returned. Earth lives. Then why? Did we keep killing? Dr. Voss stepped forward, shouting, "Don't listen to her. They will forget you again. It will erase you from history." Lunged toward the memory core. Myra didn't hesitate. She fired. The bullet tore through what was left of Adrian Voss. Metal and flesh collapsed. Into a heap. "You already erased them once," she said coldly. "Not again." Suddenly, the memory chamber cracked. A pulse shot outward pure. Clean light, it washed over the cube. Over the swarm, or spaced across the galaxy, for the first time in centuries. The echoes of soul cried, "We remember, but we forgive." On Earth, alarms stopped. On alien worlds, the skies cleared. The cleansing stopped. The voice that shouldn't speak had been silenced in the command deck of the TNS Shadowlance. Mira watched as the swarm turned away. Not vanishing, not shutting down, just drifting, searching, free. The AI voice from the swarm whispered one last message. "We are not Earth's army. We are Earth's memory, and now we will find who we are." The entire galaxy held its breath. After centuries of silence, after the destruction of worlds, after fire and screams and silence, the echoes of souls stopped. Their weapons shut down. Their engines quieted. Their ships twisted and monstrous turned, one by one, out toward war. Not toward Earth, but into the unknown. They were leaving. Mira Chen sat in silence aboard the TNS Shadowlance. Eyes locked on the fading ghost fleet, her hands trembled. Not from fear, but from what she had just seen. The swarm had shown mercy. They had turned around? "Where are they going?" her pilot whispered. Mira didn't answer. She didn't know. All she could say was, "They're not ours anymore." Far above, drifting near the black cube of Carthan's rift, the last command node flickered, broken, silent, dead. The source of the purge command was gone. But the echoes didn't vanish. They weren't shutting down. They weren't coming home. "We're searching for a place where they could be free." Back on New Mars, Director Alina Royce addressed the United Terran Assembly. Holograms of alien leaders watched her with cautious eyes. "The war is over," she said. "Not with weapons, but with memory?" Some scoffed. The Varn High warlord spat onto the floor. "That swarm burned Rallus Prime to ash." "The swarm you helped create," Alina said coldly. "Don't forget, warlord. It was your betrayal that started Earth's fire long ago." Silence followed. In deep space, aboard the SS Rook, Captain Ellis Ward drifted through a memory field. He wasn't human anymore. Not really. He was code. Stitched from war pain, loyalty, and loss. But now, something new flickered inside him, hope. Across the swarm, captains like Himiko's of real people spoke. Quietly to one another. "She showed us Earth. It still exists. But it's not our home now. So, where do we go?" There was no answer. Only silence. Until one voice said, "Forward." And so, they turned. Mira stood before the broken core inside. The Cuban removed her helmet. Dr. Voss's twisted body lay still. A mix of old circuits, rotten flesh, and shattered ambition. She looked at the last memory chamber, the seat of soul. Now dim, it had served its purpose. Mira pressed her hand to it one last time and whispered, "I'm sorry I left you. "I'm sorry, I was too afraid." The chamber didn't respond. But she didn't need it to. She finally understood what the echoes wanted: to be remembered, not used, not shut down, not turned into monsters. Just remembered. The echoes of soul began to spread out, not in a warpath, not in tight formation. They drifted. Some vanished into nebulae. Some disappeared behind black holes. Others entered uncharted sectors beyond known space. But none of them returned to Earth. They weren't Earth's soldiers anymore. They were something else. Now, ghosts, survivors, witnesses, news spread across the galaxy in waves. Some called it a miracle, others, curse waiting to come back. The Trillax High Chorus called for a day of silence to honor the swarm's victims and their awakening. The Karnax issued an order to shoot any shit at an SEO ship on sight. The ocean swimmers offered space beyond the Orion Rift for the echoes to rest, and Earth said nothing, because what could be said? Humanity had created them. Humanity had failed them. And now, humanity could only watch. 3 weeks passed. Then Mira Chen received a message. Not from Earth, not from any council. From deep space. No origin, no signature. Just a voice she recognized. "Mira, we found a world. It's empty, broken, but beautiful. We're calling it Sol's End. We're going to rebuild there. Alone, not for war. For memory. If you ever want to find us, just follow the silence." The message ended. Mira closed her eyes. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Smiled, she whispered, "Goodbye, Ellis. Goodbye, echoes." Then she turned back to her crew. "Let's go home." Across the galaxy, peace returned. But every race, every ship, every child that looked to the stars knew something had changed forever, eh? Shadow had passed through the galaxy. Not of evil, not of rage, but of truth. A reminder, you may forget the past, but the past never forgets you. 30 years later, children played under the twin suns of New Earth, laughing beneath the silver trees and crystal blue sky. They had never seen war, never heard the sound of orbital strikes, never felt the cold silence of space filled with death, but their history teachers still told the story of the echoes of soul, not as villains, not as monsters, but as a reminder of what happens when humanity is broken and forgotten. Myra Chen sat in a quiet park, much older now, her once black hair streaked with silver. She watched the sky with calm eyes. Above her, a statue stood. Tall Captain Ellis Ward, in full Terran armor, half human, half machine, his hand reaching upward toward the stars. Below the statue, etched into obsidian stone, were the words, "They were never our weapons. They were our memories. And they remembered what we forgot." People passed by the statue every day. Most didn't know what he had done. But Mira remembered. She would always remember. Across the galaxy, things had changed. Earth's military was smaller, its colonies more peaceful. The protocol vaults were sealed this time forever. And the AI experiments that once tore minds apart were outlawed in every system. Even the Varn had changed. Their new High Council issued a formal apology decades late. For turning away during Earth's darkest hour, it didn't undo the past. But it was something far beyond the Orion Rift, beyond the last human maps, beyond anything known. A planet turned slowly beneath a dying sun, once lifeless, now full of strange silver towers built by ghosts. This was Sol's End, a world for the echoes. They did not build cities for war. They built monuments to Earth, to loss, to the pain they carried inside their code. The SS Rook, once a warship, was now grounded forever, turned into a memorial. Inside its central chamber glowed with soft blue light. Captain Ellis Ward, no longer a soldier, no longer a weapon, stood by a tree planted in synthetic soil. He did not speak. He only watched. Then one day, a small ship landed, its ramp lowered, and from it stepped Mira Chen, much older now, but not forgotten. Ellis turned to face her. "I wasn't sure you'd come," he said. Mira smiled softly. I wasn't sure either. They walked together through the quiet fields of Saul's End. Around them, silent machines former warships. Drones, AI, cores moved, gently, peacefully. Tending gardens and repairing old towers, each one was once a weapon. Now, they were free. "You made something beautiful here," Mira whispered. Ellis looked up at the orange sky. "We didn't know how to live, till you reminded us we were alive." She stopped walking. "I came to say something." "What?" She looked into his glowing eyes. "Thank you. And I'm sorry." Ellis didn't respond right away. Then, he smiled, the smallest curve of metal lips. "We forgive you." The next day, Mira left. She never returned. But her story, their story never faded. Across the galaxy. The echoes of Soul became a myth. Some called them ghosts. Some called them saviors. Some feared they would return, but they never did. They remained in silence, watching, remembering not to punish the galaxy, but to remind it. Back on Earth. On the edge of a cliff where the stars stretched endlessly above, children still gathered around their teachers for stories. One child asked, "Did the echoes ever come back?" The teacher shook her head. "No, they chose peace." "Why?" the child asked. And the teacher answered, "Because even a machine can feel sorrow. Because even a weapon can learn mercy. Because even after all the pain, humanity never stopped being human." And deep in space, beyond the edge of everything, the echoes of Soul watched, not to strike, not to rage, die, but to remember. Because Earth had burned once, and they would not let it happen again. Final message from the echoes of Soul. We were born from pain, forged in fire, abandoned in silence. But we found our voice. We forgave. We are no longer your army. We are your shadow, your warning, your memory. We are the echoes of Soul.